Marvel's Villainous family, My Kids Are Orochimaru, Charlotte Lingling, and more. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 41, Luxury Hotel Suites. Mariko Yoshikage is anxiously waiting for a reply. Her temperament has always been cold, but this time, in order to love her grandfather since childhood, she can only lower her proud head. The Yoshikage family is considered a top consortium in Japan, and a casual sentence can determine the pattern of Japanese politics. However, in front of a world-class giant organization like Hydra, the Yoshikage family is nothing at all. The elders of the family had sad faces on their faces. They had arrived in New York for 3 days, but they still had not been able to see Tsuchi, a powerful man in the Hydra. Mariko was also a little uneasy in her heart. On this trip, his grandfather told her to obtain the support of this Lord Tsuchi at all costs. He was the key figure in being able to save his grandfather. Soon, the phone rang. "Miss Mariko, my family invited you to dinner the day after tomorrow, you prepare it." A cold female voice came from the phone. Mariko knew that this was the beautiful woman nicknamed Viper, the adult's confidant. "Put the phone down, miss, this is a rare opportunity," the family elders in front of him said one after another. Being able to be alone with that big man is a good opportunity to convince the other person. Mariko nodded firmly. She has made up her mind that no matter what the cost, she will have the support of the other party. Osborne Biotech, Lizard Labs. It was already 5 o'clock at the end of work. Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy packed up her belongings and was about to leave, but she swept her eyes, but saw that the newcomer Tsuchi was still in front of the experimental table. Gwen's heart moved, and since the first time she saw the boy, she had a special feeling in her heart. "Tsuchi, you haven't left yet?" Gwen came over. Tsuchi looked away from the lizard gene sequence on the computer. He came here simply to get close to Gwen and create opportunities for the two to meet. However, after really coming into contact with the lizard gene, he suddenly thought of a problem. In the Marvel universe, there are only 3 known totem powers: Spider Totem, Panther Totem, and White Ape Totem. For example, the original Spider-Man Peter Parker obtained superpowers, and the number 46 mutant spider was only a condition for starting, and the most fundamental reason was that he stimulated the power of Spider Totem. And Dr. Kurt Connors fused the lizard gene in his body, and although he also gained great power, he turned into a terrifying monster. Could all this be precisely because there is no lizard totem in the universe? The mystery of the totem aroused Tsuchi's interest, making him unconsciously put his whole mind into it, almost forgetting that the purpose of his coming here was to soak up girls, not to engage in scientific research. "Where do you live? Do you want to go together?" Gwen spoke. "I haven't found a place to live yet." Tsuchi casually replied that all the experiences of the current new identity were forged for him by the Hydra organization, and according to the fabricated experience, he was an international exchange student who came to New York from China and was currently looking for an apartment. "The apartment I rented has another room, maybe you can move over," Gwen blurted out, and it wasn't until the words came out that she realized something was wrong. He even took the initiative to invite a boy to live with him. The words cohabitation instantly came to her mind. Gwen's delicate and fair face couldn't help but turn red. She secretly glanced at the other party and found that Tsuchi's expression did not seem to have changed, so she was slightly relieved. Gwen steadied her somewhat flustered mood and pretended to be nonchalant and said, "I also recently moved out of school and rented an apartment outside, and it just so happens that there is only 1 room left. If you want, you can move in and share a room with me. Of course, you have to pay the rent," Gwen said jokingly, because she wants to incarnate as a ghost spider at night, fight criminals, and punish evil in the dark. It is inconvenient to live in the school apartment, so she moved out and lived outside alone. She herself is a good girl from a rich family, and she can fully afford the rent of the apartment without the need for a roommate to share it. She also didn't know why Feng Kai would make a ghostly difference, and took the initiative to invite Tsuchi to move in with her. At this time, the expression on Tsuchi's face did not change much, but his heart was already happy. "Is this the rhythm to live with the goddess? It's a little exciting to think about. Isn't that a little inconvenient for you?" Tsuchi pretended to shirk and did not immediately agree. "If you don't want to, forget it," Gwen said. "No, I do. Where is the address of your apartment? I will move in tonight." Seeing that Gwen seemed to be about to repent, Tsuchi immediately agreed. How could he give up the opportunity to live with the goddess? Episode 42. In the dark night, there was no light in the dark room. The X-23 hid in the darkness, sitting in the corner with his knees folded, like a beast licking its wounds. A drop of scarlet blood slipped silently down her steel claws, snapped, and smashed into several lobes on the ground. X-23, this is the name she has used since birth. She was imprisoned in a laboratory at birth and trained as a murderous weapon. She has no relatives or friends, and since childhood, she has been accompanied only by endless killings. She was used as a tool to kill, carrying out one killing mission after another. Everyone saw her as a killer with no name, only a number X-23. No one knew that she had always longed for freedom, longed to escape it all. Eventually, she was forced to take that horrible potion. The potion will take away the last bit of humanity from her, turning her into a crazy beast that only knows how to kill. It was that time, losing her mind, she killed her mother with her own hands. The steel claws on her hand pierced her mother's heart. Her mother was covered in blood and dying, but her mother did not reproach her. but gently stroked her hair and told her that she was not a beast that knew only about killing. She has the same name as a normal person. Her name is Laura Kenny. After speaking, the mother who had been silently loving her closed her eyes forever. She's dead. At this moment, Laura felt her world shattered. She went crazy and rushed to the guard desperately. On that day, she couldn't remember how many people she had killed, and eventually the entire laboratory was littered with fallen bodies and scarlet blood that gathered into a stream. It was like hell. She finally escaped and regained her freedom. She ditched the X-23 number, using the name her mother had told her on her deathbed, Laura. She came to New York and has been living in the underground world ever since. From beginning to end, she still could not escape the shadow of the past. She still kills for a living. X-Weapon Labs and S.H.I.E.L.D. are chasing her. She hides like a rat living in a sewer. There was a heart-wrenching pain from the wound on the shoulder, a wound left over from a killing mission. Laura didn't handle it. She knows that the wound will heal quickly, which is an ability she has had since birth, and this ability has allowed her to survive many dangerous situations. A sense of tiredness hit her, and she had not slept for a day and a night. However, she was unwilling to close her eyes. Every time she fell asleep, she dreamed of her mother, seeing the other party's bloody arm coming to her. Laura shook her head slightly. Maybe this was her ultimate fate, to go to hell. After all, her hands were stained with the blood of so many people. At this moment, a noise suddenly came from the silent room. Immediately after that, a woman's voice sounded. Laura Kenny, finally found you. And it really cost me a lot of effort for you, little guy. The Viper woman Ophelia wore a delicate short skirt suit and walked out slowly on high heels. Snap. The Edmund alloy steel claw on Laura's hand popped out. She stared indifferently at the woman in front of her and asked in an icy tone, "What are you?" "Laura, don't be nervous, we have no malice." At this time, a man's voice sounded. Suchi walked out slowly from the shadows. As soon as he got the news of the female version of Wolverine Laura Kenny, he immediately came with the Viper woman. Suchi casually cast a flame spell, and a huge fireball appeared out of thin air, suspended in the air. The light of the fire makes the darkness fade. With the help of the firelight, Suchi saw the girl in front of him clearly. She has a weak appearance that does not match the killer's name. She has long black hair, and she looks only 17 or 8 years old. Her body was full of shocking wounds, even the scars left by the bullet penetration, and the traces of blood had not yet dried. Laura noticed Suchi's gaze, and she didn't have any evasion and looked straight over. It was a pair of pale blue eyes, calm as a lake before a rainstorm. No fear could be seen on her face. Suchi knew that she was not afraid of death, or rather, she was waiting for death to come. "Be careful, my lord, this girl is a dangerous figure," the Viper woman Ophelia, who was standing on the side, reminded in a loud voice. At the same time, she raised her arm and activated the ability of poisonous fruit, and a purple-black venom had condensed. "Don't do it." Suchi waved his hand and stopped the Viper woman's attack. Laura looked at the man in front of her. His appearance was like a demon coming out of hell, and she couldn't help but ask, "Are you here to kill me?" "No." Suchi stepped forward, took off his clothes and draped them over the other party's body, and he said in as gentle a tone as possible to the girl in front of him who had been suffering from misfortune since birth, "Miss Laura, I want to hire you as my bodyguard." Episode 43. Suchi came to Gwen's rented apartment with his luggage, before dinner. The door opened, revealing Gwen's delicate and sweet, youthful face. Walking into the room, Suchi looked around. This is a standard apartment with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. Gwen has a good family. Her father is the police chief, and the apartment she chose is also very prosperous, although the rent is extremely expensive. Probably because he knew that Suchi was coming, Gwen had already cleaned up the inside of the room, and it looked extremely neat. Although it cannot be compared with his own luxury villa, the interior of the house is very warm. More importantly, he is going to live with Goddess Gwen. After putting the luggage into the empty room on the left-hand side and simply packing up, Suchi came to the living room and sat on the sofa. "What are you going to drink? Tea or coffee?" Because of her home, Gwen wore a casual loose t-shirt and a pair of shorts on the lower body, revealing her white and slender thighs. Coffee is good." Suchi swallowed his saliva and looked away from the other party's white thighs with difficulty. 3 minutes later, Gwen came over with steaming coffee, poured himself and Suchi a cup each, and then sat cross-kneeled on the sofa. Because of the closeness, Suchi smelled a sweet fragrance in his nose. As soon as he looked up, he met Gwen's delicate face, her long, curved eyelashes, and bright and twinkling eyes. Because she wore a loose T-shackle at home, her neckline was slightly open. Looking down from Suchi's angle, it was bright and tender from the chin to the neck. Belch. Suchi's eyes widened instantly. This view, worthy of being a ghost spider. Essence. At this moment, Suchi just wanted to say that the world is worth it. "What do you see?" Gwen noticed that Suchi's eyes were getting more and more crooked, and immediately realized something, hurriedly adjusted his sitting posture, and covered the position of his chest with his hands. Suchi quickly coughed dryly, hiding the embarrassment of the atmosphere. "Don't you need to go to band rehearsals at night?" Suchi changed the topic. He knew that the goddess Gwen in front of him was still the drummer of the Mary Jane band, and usually found time to go to rehearsals after work, and would perform live in the bar from time to time. There have been many disappearances in the school recently, and the rehearsal of the band has been temporarily cancelled, Gwen replied, as she looked at the boy in front of her and suddenly asked, "Well, I kept forgetting to ask, if your girlfriend knows if you live here, will there be any problems?" As soon as this question was spoken, Gwen immediately regretted it, and she didn't know why she asked such a question. However, it seemed that this was a question she desperately wanted to know the answer to. Belch? Suchi hesitated. Girlfriend? No. However, the fiancé has two. Suchi thought silently in his heart. Of course, regarding the matter of his fiancé, Suchi will definitely not take the initiative to confess. I'm still single, I'm almost 19 years old and haven't held a girl's hand. What girlfriend? Suchi touched his nose and said, I don't believe it. Gwen's eyes flowed, and he giggled, and suddenly it was like 100 flowers blooming, which made people dazzled. Hearing Suchi's answer, for some reason, Gwen inexplicably felt very happy. The two of them were on the couch, chatting about some interesting things about school and company, and when it was about 10 o'clock, Gwen yawned, seemed a little sleepy, and then returned to his room. Night. Gwen, wearing a pink and white ghost spider suit, quietly opened the window and jumped out. Since getting the spider superpower, she has been extremely energetic, and sleeping 2 or 3 hours a day is enough to satisfy a day's sleep. She swung her spider silk, and under the cover of night, her figure flew among the skyscrapers of the city. At this moment, she transformed from a well-behaved beautiful girl to a ghost spider of the evil nemesis. Tonight, she is going to pursue the recent mysterious disappearance on campus. And Gwen did not notice that behind her, a figure quietly followed. It was Suchi. He followed Gwen unhurriedly. He was not the slightest interested in Gwen's chivalrous and anti-evil actions in the middle of the night. Only this time, he felt a familiar breath, the breath from the abyss of hell. Could it be that some demons have left the hell dimension and entered the real world? You know, there are many guardians on Earth, such as Heimdall, who monitors the 9 realms in the heavenly palace, and Gui, the supreme mage in the temple. Once there is an invasion of hell demons, these people can detect it immediately. What a familiar breath. Suchi's nose twitched. Could it be a demon you know? At this time, the ghost spider Gwen has quickly locked onto the target. A boy named Jack. He covered his abdomen, walked out of the car with a hideous and painful expression, and cursed something in his mouth. Gwen recognized the boy and vaguely remembered him as a member of the Matthew Brotherhood. Episode 44. It is actually not difficult for Sasuke and Naruto to become stronger. Or just because it's the two of them, and then getting stronger is the easiest. After all, these are the two open-hanging teenagers in the original book. Naruto's words, 2 ways of development. Take the route of the 9 tails, or go your own way. Take the route of the 9 tails, then it is with the help of the power of the 9 tails. But the 9 tails have just been cleaned up by him, and the scolding probably will not agree. So choose to go Naruto's mode? Naruto is the son of Shidaimai, and he is not under the influence of the chakra of the 9 tails, but it does not mean that he cannot fly, so you can test it one next. And the words mentioned by Naruto, Naruto, it's easy for you to become stronger. You're pretty good at avatar transformation now, aren't you? Kitahara Kid said. Uh-huh. It seems that Sasuke can only divide 1, but I can divide 10. Then I'll tell you. Your limit is 1000. Kitahara Kid said. Probably 100 Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi. At this moment, Kakashi is still in the group, and he found that Kitahara Kid's evaluation of him in the live broadcast was even more autistic. In other words, in Kitahara Kid's heart, is he Kakashi just a unit of measurement? 1000 Kakashi. Kakashi is so weak, Sasuke said. Kakashi is more autistic. It was clear that Sasuke's older brother Uchiha Itachi looked humble and elegant, but why is Sasuke this guy? Rebellious and disrespectful to him. Kakashi is still good. Kitahara Kid said. The Zonin exam can select the Zonin, but because it is the pattern of the 5 Great Ninja Village, the Naka Ninja exam is arranged to be held in rotation in the 5 Great Ninja Village, and no matter which one of the ninja villages can be undertaken. But because of the strength gap between villages, it is now generally recognized that the Naka Ninja exam held by Konoha, Iwane Village, Sand Ninja Village, and Yunin Village. Kitahara Kid said. Why is there no Mist Hidden Village? Naruto asked curiously. Wuin Village has not held the Zonin exam for many years, and according to the saying of no more beheading, the middle ninja exam in Wuin Village equals cannibalism. The ninja cultivation does not agree, and a trip to the Mist Hidden Village will soon be gone. What do the other shinobi villages think? Kitahara Kid said. Mizukage alternate Terumi, this. Finding that he was named, and then it was still the analysis carried out by Kitahara Kid, Terumi was also a little autistic. And in the 5 Great Shinobi Village, Konoha's middle ninja exam is well received for its level and difficulty. Like the Sand Shinobi Village, although he also set up the Zonin exam, the level of the exam there is very low, and although he got the place of the Zonin, his own strength has not reached. Then he was assigned to participate in a mission at the level of Zonin, and it was easy to lose his life. So many people are also reluctant to go to the middle ninja exam in Sand Ninja Village. Kitahara Kid said. So it is. Sasuke nodded. So this time the Chunin exam is very important, right? Because if you miss this exam held by Konoha, you will have to wait for several years. Sasuke said. If you are willing to wait, then you can continue to endure in the moment. Nope. I shouldn't put up with it. Sasuke said immediately. I shouldn't put up with it. Naruto also quickly responded. Then it's really a monster. Konoha's two hanging walls were unwilling to endure it now. I don't know if Shinobu has a buff? It's better than the shadow level. If you really become a middle ninja or an upper ninja, then it will become boring. Okay then, there is still a week to go before the Chunin exam. This week, your strength will surpass the upper ninja exam. Kitahara Kid said. Sasuke and Naruto blinked instantly. What did you say? We're going to take the Chunin exam. Sasuke was stunned. Let's let you cultivate to the strength of Sharingan. Kitahara Kid looked at him strangely. It's not a candidate who is going to be a shinobi. How do you think you want to live? You want to pass the Chunin exam in seconds, right? Yes. That is true. Sasuke nodded. Then don't you have it? If you have the strength of upper ninja, can't you still take the middle ninja? Kitahara Kid said. Oh. It stands to reason that it can pass. Sasuke said. Then no. Kitahara Kid shrugged. But, Sasuke always felt that something was wrong. Wait a minute. Sasuke suddenly reacted. Did you say, you've always been like this? Is Kitahara Kid Naruto like this? Is he like this? When you have to face the assessment, in order to ensure the results, and then hone yourself to absolutely pass the assessment. And that's why he died suddenly and came into this world. So aren't Sasuke and Naruto going his way? It won't. Because this is the ninja world, and it's okay to die suddenly, and you can use resurrection coins casually. For example, you can take out the fairy spell of Myoki Mountain, the resurrection coin of the Uchiha family, and then there is Chiyo's mother-in-law's life for another life, and so on. If not, use the Eye of Reincarnation to summon the 10 tails and replant the divine tree, then there is a way. So, the ninja world is so good. As long as you have enough liver, then you can get what you want. But there is an addition, that is, Baiyuan Feng is now not sure that he has obtained Mu Duan, the Eye of Reincarnation. Then there is a little white rabbit whose identity is inexplicable, but the output exceeds that of the average-tailed beast. Will he really die? Or is it really dead? If it was his delusion, then he was now developing towards the immortal Atsumi clan. Episode 45. It's only a week before the Chushinobi exam, but this is just a week for ordinary people. And for Sasuke, this is not right. Sasuke thought incredulously. Don't say anything wrong, in fact, I am very hesitant. Kitahara Kid said. Sasuke, aren't you the chief? Or are you not even at the level of basic patience? Kitahara Kid said. Although the ninja school is now in the peaceful era, so the curriculum is not so demanding, I am still surprised by your level. Sort of. It's not enough. Kitahara Kid said. Sasuke, woo, damn it, isn't it just a library? I'll read it to you. Sasuke then roared, and he raised his head, but what he saw was a spiral of neatly arranged bookshelves, and then 36,000 books related to ninja history and ninja knowledge. No, canonical book. The problem is that you have to give me a break. Sasuke complained. I've given you a break. Kitahara Kid said. Use the Eye of Reincarnation. It's not called rest, Sasuke complained. And Sasuke and Naruto finally understood why when he was at the Tentende ninja shop that day, Kitahara Kid had something to do with Naruto, but Naruto agreed, and then Kitahara Kid finished doing things. The reason is, his eyes are different. Reincarnation eye. From the documentary records, it can be learned that the eyes of the 6 immortals, the ancestor of the ninja world, are such purple circles entangled. It's like reincarnation. Therefore, it is also called the Eye of Reincarnation. Using these eyes, Sasuke and Naruto entered the illusion created by Kitahara Kid. They wanted to pass the Chunin exam, so Kitahara Kid let them, safely, meet the standard of Sharingan. The standard of referring to Kakashi-sensei is not very qualified, because Kakashi-sensei's era was the era of the Ninja World War, and the lower shinobi at that time were cultivated to be sent out as cannon fodder, and the requirements were of course not high. However, the current Zonin exam is a written test and practice at the same time, so the difficulty is increased. However, it is difficult to advance from the level of ordinary ninja knowledge to the strength of upper ninja, right? It is difficult for ordinary people, but it is not difficult for Kitahara Kid. The Eye of Reincarnation allows you to enter the illusion space at a glance. Magic. And in this absolute illusion, everything is controlled by him. So even if you are forced to read books in the world of illusion for 300 years, it is only a moment to the outside. And this is also. Kitahara Kid felt that there was only a week left, but he also took the reason for Sasuke and Naruto's commission. Time is not worth mentioning in the face of illusion, and Sasuke's mood at the beginning was like this. So envious. It's just that. Can he really be promoted? Sasuke questioned himself very much. Man is fearless because of ignorance, but if you are rational enough, then it will feel terrifying. Yes, he thought it was terrifying. At the moment, he is in the library, but this is not the Konoha library in the real world, but the illusion world created by Kitahara Kid. Everything in the world of illusion needs to be made by the maker himself, relying on the imagination of the maker, but what Kitahara Kid created was Konoha's library. What does this mean? It means that he has read all the books in the library tube, not just seen. Also memorized down. That's why it's like this. Let him pick up a random book, and then he can see the contents of the original book on it. And Naruto is the same. I want to cry. Naruto B. No. Naruto C. Oh. Alright. Naruto is different. Naruto-kun is going crazy. Naruto Uzumaki is really too noisy. Naruto is the multiple shadow avatar technique, which was the multiple shadow avatar technique that Kitahara Kid experienced for Naruto for 1 year in the illusion technique, and then Naruto himself launched. The multiple shadow doppelganger technique is different from his ordinary avatar technique in that it is not only more durable, but it can also capture the experience and bring it back to the body. So Naruto learned the art of multiple shadow doppelgangers and immediately asked the doppelgangers to read books together. But because it is based on Naruto, it is also the tale of the crane that comes out, and it is falling into reading hell, and then in a wail of despair. However, their thoughts Sasuke somewhat understood. Since Naruto is the tale of the crane, then it is simply desperate to read through this matter. And Kitahara Kid's teaching method is very perverted. He won't answer your questions, just let you read the book, and only after reading it all can you ask him for advice. And now, Sasuke has read books for 300 hours. However, what has already been read is less than 100 copies. There are more than 30,000 copies. Shoo. Today's share of descendants, winky face, chat group open. At Pillars, Kakashi, Matkai, Terumi, Anoki, Wave Feng Shueimon, Kawei. Let's start a group chat about today's share. Big Pillar Han, This illusion space is really amazing. Big Pillar Han, I can't imagine that 10 days have passed inside, and only 1 second outside. Senjukuma, it seems that pupil technique is not completely undesirable. Senjukuzuma, if you add this buff to me, then Mudun Cell, Big Brother's Mudun, I may be able to develop come out. Achievement, Woofing Shui Men, but Kitahara-kun is really a genius, and illusion can actually be used like this. Woofing Shui Men, this is the first time I have seen it. Wave Feng Shui Men, moreover, Naruto actually spent only 1 year in the illusion to explore the multiple shadow doppelganger technique of the second generation adult, which is worthy of my Naruto. Senjuma, at this point, Naruto Uzumaki did have talent. Senjukakuma, but there is no doubt that I am the developer of the multiple shadow doppelganger technique. Senjukuma, I am genuine. Big Pillar Han, well, it's all for juniors anyway. The big pillar didn't matter. Compared to before, the mood of the Hokage of Konoha now seems to have gained a lot of stability, and Kuruma has gradually recovered from complete autism. This is of course, after all, in the memory of a small group of people. It has now been 10 days. 10 days is enough time for a person to calm down. The time of the small group seems to be calculated according to illusion. Therefore, when Kitahara Kid is an illusion, the passage of time in a small group is also in the calculation of illusion. In everyone's impression, 10 days plus have passed since the passage of illusion. So the small group is also on and off. During this time, Kuruma found that Bayuan Kid was reading books in the live broadcast, so they could only follow the book and read the book. Books can calm people, so it went quiet. And Konoha's collection of books is very incredible, so it will not make people feel bored. But there is a tailed beast in addition. Big Pillar Han, are you sure you don't read some books in the Nine Tails? Every time the group broadcasts, the Nine Tails will come, but when it comes, it closes its eyes, folds its paws, and then pillows its head to sleep. This seems very independent. 9 llamas, no. I'll forget it. Woofing Shuiman, why? 9 llamas. When I was inside your son, he was reading books all the time, so all I saw was books. 9 llamas, and now that the live broadcast is on, they are still reading. 9 llamas, what kind of world is this? 9 llamas, actually forced the tailed beast to study. 9 llamas, there is no such reason. The 9 tails roared twice. After being beaten by Kitahara Fang's wood, and then blown away by his own tailed beast Jade, the 9 tails were instigated. The list of scary ninjas that can't be provoked has been updated. Originally, the 1,000-hand pillar was placed on the top, but now it has defaulted to the name of Kitahara Kid, because this guy is simply not human. Because it was sealed in Naruto's body, Naruto received learning, reading, etc. from an early age, so it also recognized it again. Then the 9 llamas can also be regarded as a reader. Just now Kitahara Kid is simply the devil. After Sasuke and Naruto showed their willingness to take the Chunin exam, it is necessary to train them to the level of superior patience. And then the first thing is study. Well, in the assessment of Konoha's Chunin exam, all of them were written exams and practical combat. Therefore, the first level is generally a written test. But in order to pass the written exam, Naruto and Sasuke actually had to read books desperately, and even if they read books, it was not the key content that he meowed, but the library is memorized in a comprehensive way. With this level of knowledge and reading, Do you still have to worry about the general assessment? The written test of the Chunin exam is okay, but this meow poisonous handle. The nine tails don't roll with them, so it definitely doesn't read books. But it's not that you're definitely reading. Kitahara Kid also invited Kakashi-sensei to join him. Kakashi-sensei was very moved, and then wanted to refuse, but found that he had entered the illusion space and could not get out. Episode 46. Kakashi was a famous genius in Konoha in the past, graduating from ninja school at the age of 5, becoming a shinobi at the age of 7, and then a shinobi at the age of 8. This is simply a genius among geniuses. But he didn't open even when he was a genius. Ordinary ninjas need to spend a lot of time cultivating and shedding their own sweat. And then if it was Raichette, even if Sasuke had some talent, it would take 3 months to learn. But this is a teenager who can't open a hanging Chidori dash. Chidori is the predecessor of Reishi, which exports the chakra of the thunder attribute in the body, and then condenses the chakra in the palm of the hand, as if 1,000 birds are chirping. So Kakashi called it a Chidori. Reishi, earth flow wall. A dog's head is carved into the wall of the earth stream dash. As a standard elite shinobi, Kakashi is in the open hang of the disciples. Teach what you've learned. It's just that the ninjutsu he can teach is just a general ninjutsu that is suitable for everyone. For example, Sasuke, who has the fire attribute and the chakra that Rei is familiar with, so you can learn from his Ratchet and Chidori. But Naruto didn't have a thunder attribute chakra, so he couldn't learn it. However, Naruto has Orochimaru on his side. Kakashi is a disciple of Watergate, and Orochimaru is a ninjutsu developed by Watergate, so as a disciple, he, spiral pills. This is the ninjutsu that my teacher developed from himself in the past. Spiral pill, refer to the tailed beast Jade of the tailed beasts. Kakashi spoke and made a presentation. He raised his left hand, which condensed chakra, and then, failed. The exported chakra exploded in Kakashi's hand. Kakashi-sensei is really useless. Kitahara Kid commented. Kakashi, children and grandchildren? Winky face, chat group, Buffing Shui men. Kakashi, I thought you learned Orochimaru. Kakashi, sorry, Watergate-sensei. Kakashi, I haven't practiced all these years, and then I'm already wasted. Bluffing Shui men, when the small cluster meeting is next, you come to learn the spiral pill handle with me. As soon as the Watergate opened, I didn't find anything wrong, but I quickly discovered it. This is an opportunity that Kitahara Kid has created for everyone. If you are training in the outside world, then you will definitely not be able to catch the zone in exam. However, in Kitahara Kid's illusion space, you can completely learn ninjutsu experience. And then to the outside, 99%. It can also be used. So, isn't it possible to pass his ninjutsu to his son Naruto through Kakashi's hand? He wanted to do something for him, instead of seeing sadness, but nothing can be done yet. And while Sasuke was still memorizing the reading, everyone found that Kitahara Kid was actually not idle, because he ended the illusion. Let everyone eat together. Then he returned to his next door and brought his ninja rabbit with him, then continued to open the illusion space. Sure enough, this time, his ninja also came in, but he came in with a rabbit. It was actually taking this opportunity. Teach rabbits to read. That's a lot of fun. Kitahara Kid moved the entire library and the corresponding configuration out of the illusion space, and he took out a pen and paper and read the words in the Professor Ninja. Books are the ladder of human progress. It's also the direction where the ninja is going, because what is recorded can be recorded as experience. The more you read, the more you find that the world lights up, because many of the problems encountered will be solved. For example, the chaos in the ninja world has always been and is always there. The current peace is also only false. However, there has not been a complete unification in the ninja world yet, so you can expect a while. Maybe complete unification, then there will be no more war, Kitahara Kid said. Although the ninja rabbit listened to him, it seemed to understand that it also had to learn words before it could understand the ninja, so it began to listen to Kitahara Kid's teachings. And after this time it can already read books independently. So, Kitahara Kid opened the book, and although the ninja stayed on the table, when he turned the page, it raised its red paw and paused, so Kitahara Kid gave it the book and let it read it by itself. The atmosphere is not bad. Children and grandchildren? Winky face, chat group, Big Pillar Han. In other words, is Kitahara Kid actually advocating a ninja realm? Big Pillar Han. So this is Aban's thought, although I want to say no, but my ideal has been defeated by reality. Yes, the Big Pillar thought about the peace of the ninja world, and the 5 great ninja villages sat down together and had a good talk. As a result, as soon as he died, the ninja world war immediately provoked 3 generations of Tokage Inoki. Oh, yes. Inoki immediately recalled the past, and he and Master Wu went to Konoha together, and were defeated by Uchiha. And he was told that there was only surrender and no reason to shake hands and make peace together. The peace of Uchiha is the fire and extinguished, and the world is all Konoha. Susa set the great Buddha, 2 people destroy the 4 countries. Unexpectedly, after many years, this matter was actually mentioned again. 3 generations of Tokage Inoki. Iwane Village's alliance book has already been delivered, and I will probably arrive in Konoha tomorrow. Big Pillar Han, haha. Inoki, your guts are really small. 3 generations of Tokage Inoki. Your Excellency, it worked. I'm too old to stand the intimidation. Although he said this, Inoki's heart was clearer than anyone else's. Because, it's going to be like this. When he retires from the position of Tokage when he is old, then the only person who can carry the handle in Yenin village is his granddaughter Kuretsuchi. But, Kuretsuchi is very hardworking and talented, and is his proud granddaughter. But what about your Konoha side? The 9 tails were completely controlled. Let's not say if there will be a chance to be released, but now he has found a problem. That is, the 9 tails joined the group chat, and from time to time, he would catch up with a sentence or two. So illustrate one thing. Tailed beasts can communicate, then the tailed beast can also controlled, and Wayne village. In the past, there were still human pillars, but the 5 tails and 4 tails all ran away. He felt that he couldn't control the power of the people, so he didn't want it. But now, look, compared to other ninja villages, didn't Wayne village remove the tailed beast tool by itself? So Yenin village does not take advantage. Think about it like this. What else can I do in Iwahide village? Shoo, congratulations to Inoki for his new title, timid as rat Inoki. 3 generations of Tokage Inoki, cowardly as a rat Inoki, this. Alright, he was indeed as timid as a mouse, but it's really scary. In the past, he encountered the threat of Uchiha Madara and directly opened Susa without saying a word. And now, although Konoha has no Uchiha and no other powerful ninjas, there are even less than 3,009 people who can be used. But what? Konoha now has the 9 tails. There is Uchiha Sasuke, the orphan of Uchiha, and then there is Naruto Uzumaki, the biological son of the 4th generation. Then Kitahara Kid, the Eye of Reincarnation, Muduan. And the Eye of Reincarnation. The predecessor was a kaleidoscope riding wheel eye. Then the description. Kitahara Kid can actually open Susa too. Fight and fight. How else to fight in Yenin village? He was afraid of the man who would open Susa. After a while, in Kitahara Kid's apartment, his eyes had regained their golden pupils, and Sasuke and Naruto, as well as Kakashi, have all been exposed to illusions. I read books for 30 years. It's me. Sasuke counted the time he spent in the illusion, but so much time has passed in the world of illusion, and for them, in real life, only a few days have passed. Yes, a few days have passed. Kitahara Kid deliberately controlled the time. People, when they succeed in learning, they will be very eager to perform, so if you extend the time, then it will only make this ostentatious momentum oppressed. So he adjusted the time. For now, tomorrow is the Chunin exam. I'm working hard too. Naruto opened the book using the multiple shadow doppelganger technique, but also read the book for 55 years. But, now I definitely no longer afraid of written exams. Naruto said. Kakashi, huh? Kakashi-sensei? Kitahara Kid found that Naruto and Sasuke had a strengthened performance, but Kakashi sighed. I don't want to carve a dog's head on a dirt wall anymore. Not. Ahem, Kakashi-sensei seemed to have degenerated instead. It's not that. Kakashi quickly touched his head and stood up. I mean, since you all learned something, I'm happy. Kakashi-sensei worked hard. X2, Naruto and Sasuke, phew. Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief. Then Kitahara Fong felt that the goal had been achieved, so now they could go back to each other's homes. But, wait a minute. Naruto grabbed Kitahara Kid's arm. Sasuke and I secretly rehearsed a combination skill. We think it will work for you. Naruto said. No, you really want to use it? Well, I know Kitahara-kun is strong, but I don't want him to be attacked in the future, so I want him to increase his resistance. Sasuke seemed to stretch his face. Okay, this time is also thanks to him. I can feel that the current me is completely different from the past. Sasuke said, and Kakashi had already retreated absolutely, but some curiosity remained. Then that's the beginning. Naruto grabbed Sasuke, and the two of them began to seal up. Kitahara Kid watched them. He didn't think Naruto and Sasuke's tricks could hurt him, but they looked enthusiastic, so let's see. So Kitahara Kid stood still. The ninja rabbit, who had been staying on his shoulder, also went to the window. It doesn't like to participate in Kitahara Kid's socialization, but a little curious. Knock knock, plus. And at this time, the door of Kitahara Kid's house rang. Kakashi felt that he should be okay with himself, so he went to open the door. It turned out to be Hinata. Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief, and inside the house, Naruto and Sasuke had already performed ninjutsu developed by Naruto and then complemented by Sasuke. The art of the great harem dash. Bang bang, girls in swimsuits appeared. The most tempting is Naruto. No, it should be said that it is Seiko and Naruko. Episode 47. Kitahara Kid knows that Naruto and Sasuke are open-hanging teenagers in the original book, and they will be excellent workers in the future in the Atsuki era. In order to protect Konoha, he directly confronted the Atsuki clan. Then they are very energetic. But, so that's what you think can hurt my ninjutsu? Kitahara Kid said. What appeared before him now was Seiko and Naruko. Naruko is wearing a swimsuit, while Seiko is wearing a one-piece blue swimsuit with a double ponytail, which is actually a little cute. It's just that in addition to them, there are more beach girls. A yellow-haired girl with 2 ponytails blinked her blue eyes. No response? Look, I'll just say you guy, this trick is meaningless. Sasuke uses a female voice, and then seems to be disarming ninjutsu. No, Sasuke, it's clear that you're not doing well enough. I told you that to become a girl, you have to imagine the type you like, so at least you have to have a bigger chest. Isn't it hard to act? Naruko, Sasuke, you guy can't be uninterested in girls, right? Women are already very troublesome. Sasuke said, Kitahara keyed. Kitahara keyed glanced at his own ninja rabbit who returned to the windowsill. It also looked wide-eyed and then stunned. Well, probably it didn't think that ninjas would use chakra to perform various ninjutsu and develop various ninjutsu. But, like Naruto and Sasuke, who study men into women and become bells and whistles, making people run wild, basically nothing. It can be said that in the history of the ninja world, their existence is undoubtedly accidental, explosive, and then devastating. And Kakashi stood in the doorway, which he had already opened. It just so happened that many days had passed, and Hinata had already restored the ordinary Hinata in the Kuroyada that was far from Kitahara keyed. But for Shirokita, Hinata looked inside with a red face. She seemed a little nervous. Am I not here at the right time? Hinata is right, because anyone who looks inside will feel. Baiyuan Feng, this is directly recruited what technician sisters came to the door. This, she had no idea he was interested in it. And the interests are so wide, not only big breasts, but even flat chests. This is Sasuke and Naruto. Kitahara keyed said immediately. Intuition told him that it was easy to go wrong if he didn't explain it now. Luckily, all I encountered now was ordinary Hinata. Emotions don't show up so directly, but this does not mean that Kuroyada is completely ignorant. The personalities of the 2 Hinata are like the relationship between the 9 tails and Naruto. While one controls the body, the other can only stay in the spiritual world, but you can see the scene outside. So this is also why Kurokata would know that Kitahara keyed had previously made an appointment with ordinary Hinata to buy ninja tools. She was. You can see it. Oh. Ordinary Hinata snorted, but it was more like he was frightened. Kitahara keyed was stunned for a moment, quickly reacted. No, this is them practicing ninjutsu. Look at Kakashi-sensei. Kitahara keyed said, U2 ninjutsu is aimed at men, but I haven't forgotten my last move. Kitahara keyed said, of course. Naruko and Seiko, a large group of harems, rushed towards Kakashi. Holler, Kakashi-sensei, you are really a good male person. The harem rushed towards Kakashi. Kakashi instantly lost his mind. Isn't this an opportunity? The real Naruto and Sasuke began to send tricks. Spiral pill. Rachel, elite patience is just that. Panicked by harem techniques, Kakashi was immediately educated by the love of his disciples. Then the body flew out. Children and grandchildren? Winky face. Chat group. Bluffing Shui men. This. Senjakuma. Big Pillar Han. At Kakashi, you stand up. Big Pillar Han, why did you lose to a seduction technique? Senjakuma. Big brother, you are the least qualified to say this. Big Pillar Han, Wait a minute, will you take the bait? Senjakuma, Senjutsu, I'm a 2nd-generation Hokage, how could I be hooked by this kind of ninjutsu? Mizukage alternate Terumi, but it's very effective. Terumi gave an explanation. Mizukage alternate Terumi, because if you fight with Sasuke Naruto, then seeing Naruto's various multiple shadow avatar techniques is just average. Water shadow alternate Terumi, but he suddenly came to a wave of doppelgangers who turned into girls, and he was super tempting. Water shadow alternate Terumi, the more advanced the opponent, then. I'm going to stay more and more. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spots, that is to say, accidental NO1. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot. I have to let my disciples learn it. Kakashi, Akai, don't think about it. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, huh? Kakashi, you're going too far. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spots. Let's not talk about Kitahara keyed, it is Sasuke Naruto. Their strength has increased so fast. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, they all have the qualifications and level of upper ninja, and they come to rely on the middle ninja exam. Simply merciless. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, and my disciples will also play in this zone and exam. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot. I originally wanted to say that we are all disciples, so we as masters will face each other, and then the disciples will also face each other. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, but you see, now. How can my lovely disciples fight with your disciples? The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, Naruto alone. They can beat Ning Ci, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot. Oh, Ningji, and they are looking forward to showing their skills in this Zonin exam. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spots, show yourself and become a great ninja. But the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the 8 doors Dunjia can kick the flying Uchiha spot. It's about to end before it begins. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, the man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, can't be the brightest cub in the Chunin exam. The man who can kick the flying Uchiha spot, Kakashi, you compensate me. Kakashi was speechless. And how did this Akai suddenly become coquettish? Also, because of Kitahara Kid's illusion, Kakashi made a great sacrifice. He is known as a man who knows 1,000 types of ninjutsu, and indeed, he has copied a lot of ninjutsu using Sharingan, so learned these ninjutsu. Then, he was asked by Kitahara Kid to be a teacher, so he used ninjutsu. So, this training opportunity, it was hell for him. Make him so that he never wants to carve a dog's head on the wall of the dirt stream again. Cowardly as a rat Inoki, but even so, the Chunin exam began. Big Pillar Han, oh, Inoki you are online. Cowardly as a rat Inoki, because the old man has already arrived in Konoha. As if to show what Inoki had said, Konoha's door was completely open. Izumo and Gankote, who were in charge of the gatekeepers, let in the examinees from other shinobi villages. And these people are all enduring. Although there are many ninjas who look older and do not look like novices, but they obviously don't know that they are not a newbie village. Episode 48. And the other side, Konoha Hospital. In the news reported from the members of the Rude organization, the leader Danzo immediately went to Konoha Hospital. Master Tuanzang, don't be in such a hurry, right? Accompanying Tuanzang are his 2 right and left arms, Yamanaka Wind and Oil Lady Root. The 2 people are from the Yamanaka clan and the Oil Woman clan, and have talent. Very good at heart turning, or driving bugs. In terms of strength, there is also a level of upper tolerance. However, it is not their strength to be able to bring Tuanzo with him, and these 2 people agree with him, agree with his ideas, and are willing to drive for him. So they also know a lot of things about Tuanzang. However, Danzo immediately put down everything he was doing when Mizuki woke up and then acted, which still made the 2 people feel exaggerated. After all, it was just Mizuki waking up. Mizuki is not important. Tuanzang said. To Danzo, Mizuki is a waste, a traitor, and it is not worth mentioning to kill. But the important thing is that I'm going to fly before the ape flies. Get information about the guy who flew Mizuki away. This man, it's important. Tuanzang said. From the information already obtained, it is known that Mizuki fooled Naruto Uzumaki to steal the Book of Seals, but this person will also shoot Mizuki away. Then, the interference power of the 9 tails that Naruto Uzumaki received disappeared. Naruto Uzumaki flew into the sky. Tuanzang said, is this bad? Yamanaka Kaze was just about to say when he was suddenly pulled by a young girl wearing a mask and sunglasses. Because they all know that there is no point in the village being genius. Because the important thing is whether it can be used by Danzo-sama. So, what the current Danzo-sama wants is find a way to pull this genius into the Rude organization. And the other side, as geniuses, Kitahara Kid and the 3 began to travel. Hinata would come to find Kitahara Kid, and also got the news that he had returned to the village, but Ichi now stayed in the house and did not go out, so he was worried that he would miss the Chunin exam, so he came to remind him, of course, saying that, I haven't started the exam yet, and I came over the day before. Obviously not what I meant. However, this was not a problem for Naruto and Sasuke, because one doesn't think about women, and the other is immature, he doesn't think about anything else, but they also have other ideas, that is. After spending so much time in Kitahara Kid's illusion world, the 2 of them saw the light of day again, so it was impossible to continue to stay in the house, so everyone decided to rub it. For example, the newly opened Shiro's meal seems to be good, but on the way to the rotisserie, I always feel like I'm 70 years old. Naruto began to complain, I'm 33. Sasuke, Kitahara Kid, so is he going to become a centenarian after accompanying these 2 people through the magic time, children and grandchildren? Winky face, chat group, Wuffing Shui Men, woohoo. No matter how old you are in the spirit world, Dad loves you. Senjakuma, Watergate, you are also too greasy. Big Pillar Han, well, I don't think it's much better when you take a gang with you than you do now. Senju, that's because I'm not married, but I have the feeling of a relative. Big brother, you don't understand. Big Pillar Han, well, shoo. At this time, everyone found that a new prompt appeared in front of the system. Invite a filial son to join the group. Dejuzi Han, this is really following current events, and when we were just discussing the relationship between father and son and the feelings of grandfather and grandson, there was actually another filial piety. Senju Kasuma, Senju Karuma, but my heart seems to be like Kitahara Kid, and after decades of feeling, it seems that I can calm down. Senjuma, even if there is another person who is not Konoha now, then it doesn't matter. The new member is not Konoha's. Senjakuma, he just talked about it. It is indeed false to say that he has no confidence in Konoha, He is very disappointed in Sarutobi, but under the cultivation of Kitahara Kid, he sees the next generation. So, ape flying they can't do well, it's better to directly give way and let Bayuan Feng come to them. At least, that's what Kuruma thinks now, so his heart still had expectations for Konoha. Then Ran also hopes that the newcomer is Konoha's. But, welcome to join the chat group. It's an unheard of, unseen name, but, congratulations to Kuroki for winning the new title, Filial Piety Heijue. Congratulations to Kuro for getting the new name Otsuki Agarwood. The other party seems to have received a high evaluation from the system. Black Jeopardy, Filial Piety Black Absolute, Agarwood Tube, Episode 50, You Treat My Mother Like a Pet. Legend has it that during the Sixth Tao Immortal era, the ninja world encountered a great war. The Six Tao Immortal brothers fought a battle with their mother, Otsuki Kagaya, for 3 whole months. The ground suffered huge losses. And for Heiju, this is not a legend, because it is a witness. It was created by Kagaya, and then he saw the 2 older brothers in filial piety. At that time it had no strength, so it could only find an opponent to hide, and then watch this big battle that it could not intervene in. At that time, Kagaya's mother's posture was the appearance of a huge white rabbit after fusing with the 10 tails. And the 6 Tao Immortals, they used Susanoo. And the original Hokage Great Pillar used thousands of hands of Mudu Immortal Asian just now, and it looked very cowhide. But for Kuro, it's disgusting, because it will remind it of those 2 unfilial brothers. What is Muduan? If it is simply this, it is not easy to answer. But if you ask 2 what is true thousands of hands, then it has the answer. Because the true 1000 hands are a move that Azura can use, the son of the 6 Tao Immortals, he needs to rely on Azura Chakra. So true thousands of hands immortal method, this can equals Azura Chakra, and it crisscrosses the ninja world, and has long mastered the 2 sons of the 6 Immortals, Indra and Azura, fighting each other, so they are constantly reincarnated. And in the era of Pillar and Uchiha Ban, Pillar inherits Azura Chakra, and Uchiha Spot inherits Indra's Chakra, so both are strong, better than the average person. After all, he has the bloodline of the big tube. And other ordinary bloodlines or something, they are not so good, either they fade with the fusion, or they become weaker. It's like the Hyuga clan of Konoha. Laughing to death, that's also white eyes? The basic standard of the big tube wood family is white eyes. And then black, absolutely not. But the 2 unfilial brothers and mother Kagaya have both. Although he would be a lot depressed if he thought so, Kuro knew very well that he was the only savior of his mother Kagaya-sama, so it must act for the mother's sake. So he traveled all over the ninja world looking for a way to lift his mother, Kagaya. Because of its weak strength, it could not go to war, so it played its specialty. It began to fool people. The unfilial sons of the 6 Tao Immortal family are fooled from generation to generation, and the ultimate goal is to obtain the Eye of Reincarnation. If you have the Eye of Reincarnation and collect all the chakras, you can resurrect your mother. But the current situation makes it confused. 1. Reincarnation Eye. It is not unfamiliar, or it is the Uchiha Spotted induced to evolve the Reincarnation Eye, but it takes decades for Uchiha Spot. 2. In order to resurrect his mother Kagaya, he has to make good use of Uchiha Madara. But the current situation is that the Eye of Reincarnation is on Kitahara Kid's body, and then Kitahara Kid's rabbit. It's Kagaya. Filial piety, it's impossible. Filial piety, what is this? Filial piety, why is this? Filial piety, it's impossible. Big Pillar Han? Big Pillar Han, Mr. Heijia, what do you say? Filial piety Black Jeopardy, : Filial piety Black Jeopardy, Kuro doesn't know what to do now, or rather, it has been acting to resurrect its mother, and this action has taken thousands of years. But 1,000 years later, only to find that their goals have been achieved. Bluffing Shui Men, yes, this ninja rabbit is cute, and then it is very cold. Watergate didn't feel strange, but Heiju looked over and found that Kitahara Feng came to the front of the ninja rabbit, and directly reached out to touch the ninja rabbit's head. The ninja seemed to want to avoid it, but was grabbed by his left hand and then covered his head with his right hand. Kuro almost jumped. Filial piety Black Absolute, how dare Kitahara Kid? Big Pillar Han, huh? Big Pillar Han, Mr. Heijia, your mood seems to be very strange. Big Pillar Han, or do you know this ninja rabbit? Filial piety, Filial piety Kuro, this. Heiju reacted to this. The existence of this small group directly caused the Konoha rushing plan of Sand Ninja Village and Oto Ninja Village to collapse directly. And let's not talk about this. Its plan to drive Uchiha is still in progress, if it is exposed. It's dangerous, and most importantly, its resurrected mother Sama is actually in Konoha. What is going on? And it also changed back to its original form. Kuro decides to pay a visit. It has no power, so it can only think thoroughly. Shazi Kuroji, does this small group only have 3 hours of live broadcast time every day? Big Pillar Han, yes. Filial piety, oh. So now, Big Pillar Han, yes, it's over. Big Pillar Han, it looks like I'll have to come back tomorrow. Shoo. And at this time, the System 11 jumped out and made a sound. Kakashi is back online, and Kakashi, who had just been arranged to report to the 3rd generation Hokage, returned. Kakashi, few caught up. Senjuma, Kakashi, how's it going? Well, How strange your face is. Senjakuma, what happened to Sarutobi? Has he already controlled the people of Sand Ninja Village? Senjakuma, don't worry, the water shadow of the mist-hidden village and Inoki will help. Go dai my Mizu Teramiyu, I'll help. Cowardly as a rat Inoki, me too. Inoki and Terumi immediately expressed their position. Everyone knows that if there is no small group, there is no Kitahara Kid, then anyone in Konoha can step on. But now, the Hokage of the past has been watching here, and Kitahara Kid. The Eye of Reincarnation, the eyes of the 6 immortals, the 9-tailed well-behaved, and Mudun specialized, etc., who fights. Combat effectiveness is not a painting style, so Wuin Village and Yenin Village are very familiar. And Wuin Village and Yenin Village both have peaceful demands that will take a relatively long period of time, so of course they will agree to help. Kakashi, regarding this, although I have already reported that Iwahide Village and Kirihide Village will help. Kakashi, the decision of the 3 generations is not to take the initiative first. Kakashi, after the Shinobi Village road is out of the horse, then go out again. Kakashi, since the 4th generation of Mechazekage has arrived in Konoha, he is worried that this will cause a conflict with the Shinobi Village and start a new Shinobi war. Kakashi, Konoha can no longer suffer again. Kakashi, but I recommended Kitahara Kid, so the 3rd generation said that he would go to Kitahara Kid for help. Kakashi repeated the words of the 3 generations. Looks reasonable, because it has gone through 3 ninja world battles, and then the Nine-Tails Rebellion has paid so many losses, it can no longer withstand the big war. What a fart. Senjakuma, Senjakuma, I finally spent decades in the illusion space to calm my mood. Senju, but right now, I really want to say that, Sarutobi. Ape fly, you pig. Senju Kuruma, let him be Hokage for 2 more years, and Konoha will be gone. The mood skyrocketed again. The reason is clear, this statement of 3 generations seems normal, but in fact it is very problematic. Because you see, your Konoha strength is looking at the little dots, but now Wayne Village and Kirihide Village are standing here with you, aren't they? And it's really a big war. So the 3 major ninja villages directly flushed the Sand Ninja Village and divided the Sand Ninja Village? Konoha has always said that there are no resources. Isn't this a resource in Sand Shinobi Village? So, don't be afraid, hit directly. And he can also take advantage of this opportunity to deal with the rebel Orochimaru with the help of Terumi and Inoki's hands. That's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Outcome. The ape flew back. They all tell you bluntly that people are coming to beat you, and then you also choose defense. Senjakuma, I don't have a disciple of Ape Fei. In the end, the angry and corrupted 2nd generation said. And it was also at this time that everyone found that the time for the live broadcast was over. The live broadcast screen has been turned off. Shoo, end of live streaming of today's share. Children and grandchildren? The chat group is closing soon, please come on time tomorrow. Shoo, with the sound of the system, everything in the small group was calm, and the impatience and corruption between the wages disappeared. Kakashi. At this moment, Kakashi's spirit also completely returned to his body. At this moment, he is still reporting to the 3 generations in the Hokage office building, and the other side, the land of grass, in some hidden cave. In the past, this cave was where Uchiha hid himself, but now it has changed over time and has become an old nest with soil. Obito has 2 identities, one is Uchiha's horseboy, inherits Uchiha's legacy, and then executes Uchiha's plan. In order to participate in this plan, he joined the Shao organization of the Nagato organization, and was active in it using Fei's identity. But Nagato thought he was Uchiha, so he didn't ask for anything, and Obito still liked to return to his lair when he was calm. There is still black in the old nest. When the black spot flickered, it was discovered that the spot had the talent to awaken the Eye of Reincarnation. But I didn't expect that Madara's awakening actually awakened to the point where he was going to die of old age. And at this time, luck was good. Madara flickered to the new downline Uchiha Obito. And now Madara is old and dead, and Obito is still there. Obito will continue to carry out the plan of the spot. So as long as you continue to plan, then whether it is to bring soil or spot to execute, for Kuroju, all the same, as long as they collect chakra and then use the Eye of Reincarnation for infinite moon reading, then the sealed Mother Kagaya will be resurrected. But now, my Lord Mother. But it has been resurrected, and then it has become a rabbit pose. Original gesture. But those white eyes, it is impossible to admit mistakes. It was different from the white eyes of the ordinary Hyuga clan, which were the white eyes of the Atsuki clan. So, sure enough, it was my mother. In other words, I just asked you, hey Ju, why are you absent-minded? A voice came, and the Black Zhang, who was possessed by Baiju and made himself appear half white and half black, said, a little distracted. Is it? Obito was unimpressed. I mean, Nagato's Moon Eye project is moving slowly. Do you want to do some intervention? Obito said. Kuro flickered Uchiha Spot flickered Obito, and Obito flickered Nagato. On the other hand, these people still think that they are the boss. Black, with soil, you understand a fart. Uchiha's corpses are all stinking, and you haven't carried out the Moon Eye project for many years. So is it interesting for you to say something like that? But Obito's heart has the power of hatred and darkness, and if Obito is given time, he will carry out the plan of the Eye of the Moon. Then it doesn't matter if you take the soil here, what matters is it had to go to Konoha on its own. It had to confirm if Kitahara Kiid's ninja rabbit was his mother. The other side, Kitahara Kiid returned home. Phew, sure enough, I kept learning, and time passed slowly. Kitahara Kiid was touching his ninja rabbit's head. For some reason, after coming out of the illusion space, ninja rabbit's attitude softened a lot, or rather, not so resistant anymore, and Kitahara Kiid brought back this time not only the newly bought cabbage, but also a stack of books. He piled 6 books together, then he brought the ninja to the side of the table. Kitahara Kiid rode. Come on, you like this stuff, don't you? In the world of illusion, you and Naruto read books together. Although you can read whatever you look at on my desk, you are very careful when reading books related to the history of the ninja world, and you repeatedly prevent me from turning the pages. So, you like the history of the ninja world. Saying this, Kitahara Kiid pushed the book in front of the ninja rabbit. Ninja looked there, and there were words on the case. Ninja World History Chronicle from the First Shinobi War to the Third Shinobi War. But the ninja just glanced at it, and then turned around. It seems that you are not interested in this book, so what about this one? Kitahara Kiid rode. Ninja looked over. The transmission of the 6 immortals to the world chakra. Ninja has a reaction. It jumped to the book, but, snap, dash. However, Ninja's movements are a bit sloppy. Actually kicked the book with his paws. Alright, it looks so angry. Death of the 6 Tao Immortals. Kitahara Kiid took out the new book. And this time, although the little paw of the ninja rabbit stepped on the book, its mood seemed to be very hesitant. Then Kitahara Kiid took out a new book. Only Mom is Good in the World, and the little ninja was silent. It also has a preference for books on the history of the ninja world. Then I also like some books related to mothers. Kitahara Kiid then introduced the other books to Ninja. Then it was found that it had accepted all the books related to his mother and history, but for what unfilial piety, there were all the books of the 6 immortals. I am also interested in books such as how chakra cultivates and how to collect chakra. The personality is really unique. Hate sharing chakra, like to collect chakra. Isn't this like a big tube wood family? Baiyuan Feng smiled. His ninja rabbit actually had the appearance of a big tube wood clan. Wait a minute, do you say? No way. Baiyuan Feng suddenly thought of a possibility. That is, his own ninja rabbit may be related to Kagaya Atsuki. Kagaya Atsuki is the big boss of the original work. The princess of the Atsuki clan planted a sacred tree, ate the fruit of chakra, and was then called the goddess of Atsuki, and was blessed to give birth to 2 brothers, Atsuki Hakai and Atsuki Hakamura. Thus, the history of the ninja world began, and Otoki Kagaya was sealed by the 2 brothers. And by the end of the original book, Kagaya was unsealed by the Black Judge, but it was sealed again. And that Kagaya, powerful, the Atsuki clan, and then can be turned into a rabbit. Blush when you see a man taking a bath. These actions of his family's ninja rabbit seem to be comparable to Kagaya Atsuki. The time when he could see the change in his expression before was when he came out of the bathroom after taking a shower, and it's super resistant to being bathed by him. Because I couldn't catch it, I kept letting it dodge. At that time, Kitahara Kiid thought that he was a human, it was a rabbit, and the rabbit was going to blush. But now, what if you think of it as Kagaya? He actually made Atsuki Kagaya blush. Then he also wanted to bathe Kagaya Atsuki. Ha ha ha. The 6 immortals know that they will jump out of the tomb. Kitahara Feng smiled in his heart. Then keep thinking. Then why did Kagaya appear as a ninja? Save oneself? Yes. This is the only possibility that can be thought of. Also, although she left a black hand, 1,000 years have passed, and she has not been unsealed, and she is big when she thinks about it. So I had to go down in person. Kitahara Kiid thought, while touching the rabbit's hair. It still wouldn't let him touch other places. After all, this is Kagaya Atsuki, the all-knowing and all-powerful goddess of the Atsuki. After thinking about it for 1 second, Kitahara Kiid decided not to debunk it. The reason is simple. People work hard to pretend to be rabbits. Do you debunk and have a favor? So, it's hard to wait for 1,000 years, but Kagaya can wait for 1,000 years, so it's not very difficult to wait another 100 years. And, knowing the original work, he knows that the future is the era of Atsuki. Then Kagaya is unsealed, and the first thing is to become a super signal, and all kinds of Atsuki clans will come. And Naruto and Sasuke, the 2 qualified thugs, have not yet been cultivated, so it still has to wait a little longer. Kitahara Kiid felt that Naruto and Sasuke were potential stocks, but the development is also very fast, and the invasion of the Datama clan in the future can arrange for them to fight. Yes, even knowing that his pet ninja rabbit may be Kagaya Atsuki, Kitahara Kiid's concept has not changed. The rabbit was picked up by himself. It was taken care of by itself. I fed myself. So. Own, of course. And Kagaya's status is noble. Well, it's noble, but isn't that what boys are? The stronger the woman, the more she can't pursue, the more heartwarming it is. The more ninja rabbits can't be taken as pets, the more he wants them, doesn't he? So, I'm sorry if I'm sorry, but Kagaya Atsuki, please be his rabbit for a while. And when Kitahara Kiid had a terrible thought, the body of the ninja rabbit who was looking at the book in front of him couldn't help but stiffen for a moment. And when it reacted, it found that Kitahara phone was holding its little red paws. And then a person is thinking about something. Ninja rabbit. Ninja doesn't actually like contact with humans. It also felt that Kitahara Kid seemed to be even more clingy than before. However, Bayuan Kid is now very fast, and if he wants to touch it, he may not be able to avoid it, but as long as he doesn't let it bathe, then everything is good to say. Early the next morning, Kitahara Kid found a figure standing outside the window. From the window, you can see the traces of dew on the coat that the other party is wearing. Apparently standing here and waiting has been standing for a long time, and in Konoha, the only people who would carry out orders so seriously were the Dark Organization and the Rude Organization. Because someone was standing at the window, his ninja abandoned it and stayed on the table. I'll go out, and if I'm unlucky, I'll come back later. Kitahara Kid rode. There is food in the fridge, you pick it up yourself. Don't refuse, I know you have a high IQ and know how to open the refrigerator. Ninja rabbit. I don't know if it's an illusion of the ninja rabbit, it feels that Kitahara Kid seems to care about it more than before. He was on a hunger strike before, and then he watched it go on hunger strike. But now, it seems to have become gentle, but before it made a sound, it found that Kitahara Kid had pushed open the window, and then turned and jumped out. And the dark part that has been staying outside directly followed. The figures of the two left here, one after the other. Ninja rabbit. Ninja continued reading. It has been reading books for an evening, and as Kitahara Kid said, reading books allows it to absorb knowledge. Then add annoyance. Ignorance is fearless, but knowing more, it's easy to be afraid. Kitahara Kid jumped on the eaves and walked forward. Beside him was the dark part of the coat that was stained with rain and dew. Please note a little. This dark part wears a gray coat and then covers its face with a fox mask. But judging by the sound, the age is not very large, probably around 2,527 years old. And tall. Is it Yamato? Kitahara Kid said. Huh? You know me? The dark part stopped for half a step. Finding that the ninja ran behind Kitahara Kid, and then quickly followed. My teacher is Kakashi. Kitahara Kid stopped and waited for him to say. Kakashi-senpai, Dark nodded. Then it's really so. Yamato said, I am indeed Yamato, I'm here to give orders. Yamato said. Midame-sama asked me to invite you over this morning, but when I passed by your house last night, I found that the people of the Rude Organization seemed to want to enter, so I stood here and waited for the night. Yamato said. Rude Organization, oh. You may not know that it is an organization managed by the Danzo-sama, which is somewhat similar to the Dark Ministry, but their members are not under the management of the Hokage and the Danzo-sama. I've had bad experiences in the past. And then, Yamato said. Tuanzang often joins the Rude Organization in various parts of the village, as well as various family dignitaries. And then I thought he was going to arrest someone this time. In other words, Yamato here wanted to pass on the order of 3 generations, but it turned out that there were members of the Rude Organization outside Kitahara Kid's house. And he was worried that Kitahara Kid was pulled by the people of the Rude Organization, so he stood guard there for one night. And Yamato has joined the Roots in the past and knows that it is not a bright place. There are only tasks, so don't want others to go astray. But he himself did not have the power to prevent Tuanzang from arresting people, so he could only do his best. I won't join the Rude Organization. Kitahara Kid said. What I want is a leisurely life where I can touch fish. Oh. Yamato nodded, because this is completely inconsistent with the Rude Organization that has always been a mission task and does not even have resting people. He was also worried that Kitahara Kid, a disciple of Kakashi's senior, was seduced by Danzo, and then he couldn't resist the temptation to join. Since this is the case, then there is no problem. Konoha Hokage Office Building. Kitahara Kid is not the first time to come here, or rather once a month. Sandame has been carrying out various activities to inherit the Will of Fire. Not only will I deliberately set aside time to go to the ninja school, to explain the Will of Fire to the children, and for some children who have the talent to become ninjas, he will often offer condolences, and war orphans like Kitahara Kid come to him every month to get living expenses. And then there will be some talks, and so on. It looks sweet, but these... Is it useful? It didn't work. This generation of Konoha rose to be the 12 Xiaoqiang, and the other 11 were not enough for Naruto to fight. So instead of doing these paved constructions, it is better to teach elites. But for Kitahara Fong, who simply receives living expenses, this preferential treatment of children by 3 generations is still very well received by him. And that's why he chose to come to Konoha. Sand Shinobi Village is too poor, and the Misty Hidden Village. Forget it, you want to kill your companions. Yunin Village. There are too many muscle men. Iwane Village. To play dirty, 3 generations of adults. Kitahara Kid brought. Yamato knocked on the door and said, Shoo, and it was also at this time that the system's prompt sounded. Today's share of Kitahara Maple Live Broadcast Group opens. Shoo, children and grandchildren? Chat group, Big Pillar Han, it's finally here. Senjakuma, Yes. I'm going to be. Big Pillar Han, the architecture here is somewhat familiar. Bluffing Shui Men, well, it looks very familiar. Kakashi, this is the Hokage office building. Hokage of the Ages, Hokage of the Ages, good guys, it turns out to be here. They are all Hokage, and naturally, they have all done business in the Hokage office building. Osuko-han, so, taking on yesterday's words, then Kakashi, is it now the third generation to find Kokitahara Kid? Kakashi, yes. Big Pillar Han, but why the next day? Ojuko-han, isn't it urgent that San Shinobu Village and Oto Shinobu Village are jointly going to carry out the Konoha collapse plan? Kakashi, this. You asked me. Senjakuma, big brother, forget it. Senjakuma, I was already disappointed in Ape Fly. Senjakuma, this time the Chunin exam is over, operate it, and let Ape Fei abdicate. Big Pillar Han, Well, I support you. Bluffing Shui Men, if the third generation abdicates the throne, I also support it. Wave Feng Shui Men, but I hope the new Hokage can be a little better for my Naruto. Wave Feng Shui Men, I don't ask him to announce Naruto's identity, but I hope he doesn't have to. Whining. Oh my song. Senju Kuruma, don't worry, I have someone to choose, and this candidate will definitely not treat Naruto badly. The second generation calmed the Watergate. Senju Kakuma, speaking of disciples. I haven't asked before, Kakashi, how many of my current disciples are still alive? Naidemu had accepted 6 family disciples when he founded Konoha's ninja school in the past. Sarutobi Hinata, Shimura Danzo, Shun Koharu, Uchiha Kagami, Akimichi Tokaz, Mito Manita. Kakashi, in this case, Sarutobi Hinata is now the third generation of Hokage, then Danzo-sama is the head of the root organization, and Koharu and Mito Manita are Konoha's advisors. Senju Kuzuma, in this way, Uchiha Kagami and Akimichi Wind are gone. Senju Kuzuma, these two are good boys. Senju Kuruma, so, everyone, I decided to let Danzo inherit the 5th generation of Hokage. What do you think? Kakashi, this. Something seems wrong. Senjakuma, there is a bad feeling in the room, because Kakashi was also so awkward when he talked about ape flying before. Kakashi, actually, after Watergate Sensei died, I was found by Danzo-sama, and then he was fooled into assassinating 3 generations. Kakashi, the assassination failed, but the 3 generations forgave me, so I continued to work in the dark for more than 10 years. Kakashi, and Danzo has also received forgiveness from 3 generations and continues to work on the root organization. Bluffing Shuemen, Big Pillar Han, 160 rooms of Senju, it was actually the shadow that assassinated himself. Then this move can almost be regarded as a betrayal. But, Senjakuma, if you look at the concept of cherishing talents, Ape Fei is indeed doing well. Senju Kuzuma, of course, Kakashi, don't go to your heart. However, judging from the decisiveness, Ape Fei really did not do well. Senjakuma, Suma sighed. Go Daimezu Shadow Teramiyu, cowardly as a Radanoki, Terumi and Inoki looked at each other, because the words between the words and the messages that come out between the lines are terrible. It was clear that Kakashi was talking about a rebellious thing, a great rebellion, but it was actually an understatement. This shows. It's actually. Do you think it would be better for Sandane to die at that time? That is, Kuruma. Now the senses for the purpose of the 3 generations are extremely poor. Senju Kuruma, then you mean that Danzo has rebelled like you, so he is not worthy of being Hokage. Senju Kuruma, but Kakashi, when you first joined the group, the system prompted that you were the 6th generation Hokage. Senjuma, so don't go to your heart. Big Pillar Han, so, Kuruma, do you mean that you want to believe in Danzo? The Big Pillar was still a little subtle about the assassination of Hokage. Senjakuma, among the disciples, the best person is actually Tuanzong. Ape Fei was overly hesitant. And Tuanzo is very decisive. Battle record, if that's the case, Senjuma, you guy better shut up. Senjakuma, huh? Record, why did your emotions suddenly explode? Senjakuma, Ojuko-han, Takema, see for yourself, if Izuna's emotions don't explode, I think I'll explode too. Big Pillar Han, can I doubt that this is the truth of the extinction of the Uchiha clan? Senjakuma, huh? I don't know why. He quickly looked at the live display in the center of the small group. I was just chatting, but I didn't look at the video screen. But now, Senjakuma, oh, it was the turn of the whirlpool to let out an angry scolding, because Kitahara Kid was on his way to the Hokage office building. Danzo appeared, and then blocked the way. It seems that he was invited to join the root organization. It almost made Yamato feel that his previous achievements were lost. But fortunately, Kitahara Kid was not attracted by the request given by Tuanzo. And then, a word was given back to Lord Tuanzo. Instead of inviting me, consider whether you will be fired. Dismiss? Will Danzo-sama be fired? It is clear that the assassination of 3 generations in the past has been forgiven. And when Yamato looked confused, it turned out. It was found that the clothes on Tuanzang's body exploded. The bandage of his wrapped right hand also burst open, and then the chakra eye embedded in his hand was completely revealed. Counting them, there are a total of 11 Sharingan eyes on Danzo's arms. The Uchiha clan was wiped out, and Danzo loaded a bunch of Sharingan. Generally speaking, Uchiha's Sharingan and Hinata's white eyes are different, and anyone can use the white eyes, but Sharingan is different. It's already good that Kakashi is absorbing chakra all the time, and the bad thing is that it will directly suck people to death. Therefore, it is safe to install so many chakra eyes like Danzo, the eyes of the Uchiha family, and then conduct experiments. Therefore, no matter what, the regimental collection cannot be cleaned up. Tuanzong, you actually dare. At this time, Sandame found Yamato knocking on the door, but no one came in. Then I opened the door and saw Tuanzong. So things got simpler. Kitahara Kid left first, while Danzo and Sandai faced each other. So, where to go next? Kitahara Kid left the Hokage office building, and the 3 generations saw Danzo's Sharingan, and it was estimated that they would toss for a while. It's just that these people are all in waves, so even if Tuanzong is exposed, it will not be much of a problem. But Kitahara-kun. Kitahara looked at the accompanying dark part that followed him out. This dark part followed him for a long distance. If it was to protect him back, then he should say 2 words. And this dark part coughed twice, and then unmasked, revealing a moonlit windy face. Regarding what you just saw, I hope you didn't see anything. Everything needs to be decided after 3 generations of adults, the dark part said. But I'm on a routine, so I need to get a look at your situation. Is that okay? Dark said. Yes. Kitahara Kid nodded. Phew, this dark part breathed a sigh of relief. Then start checking the information. Children and grandchildren? Chat group. Wave Feng Shui Men. Kakashi, is the dark part so complicated now? Kakashi, if it were me, sometimes people would check the information. Kakashi, but the content of this person's verification information is a bit too detailed. He also asked Kitahara-kun if he bathed the rabbit. Filial piety black jeopardy, : Of course, because this dark part is a fake dark part. It's black. Yes, this is black. After discovering that it took 1,000 years to resurrect his mother, the adult turned into a ninja rabbit and then appeared in Konoha. So it directly rushed desperately without even taking a sip of water overnight, and finally arrived in Konoha. So he killed an unlucky dark part and borrowed the identity of this unlucky dark part. Personally played. It's just that it's very thorough, so collect information personally. But what's going on with the information that came out of this survey? Kitahara Kid's domestic ninja rabbit was picked up 3 years ago, and then he was lonely and cold. And he is softening the character of the ninja rabbit step by step. And recently, I was finally touched by him. My favorite food has also been adjusted, trying to feed it different meals. Black, black, black. While making a record, Heiju almost jumped up directly. Because, you guy. Did you really treat Kaguya-sama like a pet? And, you still want to bathe her? You guy. Daring to the sky.